Welcome to the More Than Fitness podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Minisode number 82 on the More Than Fitness podcast. Let me first turn up my sound a little bit. There we go. Now I can hear myself in my headphones just a little bit better. But today's Minisode is going to be one crucial tip for enjoying food more and hating yourself less, right? This topic actually came from a conversation I was having with a client who her main priority while we're working together is more so on her relationship with food, her outlook on food and fitness and life. And she has more mental goals that are more important to her than physical goals. And whenever we were talking about the subject, I thought that this concept was really interesting. And so I figured that you guys would be able to benefit from it as well. So instead of chronically focusing on dieting and fat loss, she's trying to figure out how to step away from the food scale, from counting macros, from being too serious about fitness and being, she's lost quite a bit of weight in the past, and she's afraid that if she gives up some of these strict habits that she's currently having, that she'll slip back into her old ways and eventually end up gaining all that weight back. It's a very common fear that a lot of people that I've worked with have had. Some of you may have it as well. Either way, if you're in that mindset now, or maybe a healthier mindset with food, I think either way, this tip will definitely be helpful. Specifically, she's trying to figure out when she is technically overeating, right? And when is she just eating, right? Because there is a difference. People, whenever they overeat, they feel bad. And so the specific scenario we were talking about was whenever she goes out to restaurants, right? Should she enjoy herself, or if she ends up eating, everything and eating a dessert and everything like that, like, should she feel bad for that, right? Because she still has a daily calorie goal. She still cares about her health. And I think that this is where you guys could definitely relate. And you want to have fun, right? If you go to a restaurant, you want to have fun, you want to enjoy yourself, you want to get something you love eating, but also you care about your health. So it's like and maybe you have fat loss goals, maybe you have muscle gain goals, whatever. You have these goals. So which way should you feel whenever you go to a restaurant and you have something? Should you enjoy it and feel guilt-free, or should you, should you actually work on improving that and feeling bad almost because you have these fat loss goals, because you have these health goals in mind? So which kind of is it? And I think that's kind of the tip here that I want to give, is that you have the choice on the outlet on the outlook. You have a choice on the outlook that you have on that particular meal. So let's say whenever it comes to overeating at a restaurant, I think that if you go out, you have a burger and fries, you have a shake, you have a dessert, everything like that. So you eat a high calorie meal, right? I see it only as overeating if your main priority in that moment is fat loss, right? Because that's all it comes down to, is what is the highest priority to you right now. And if you go into that meal and fat loss is your highest priority meal, is your highest priority at that meal, well then, therefore you would be overeating because you have that calorie goal that you committed yourself to hitting, right? You care about fat loss more than, let's just say, general experience, eating out with friends, whatever. I'm not saying that you don't enjoy the experience whenever you focus on fat loss, but it's just like, if you want to buckle down on fat loss, then buckle down on fat loss. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But I think that's definitely one way that you could look at it. And that's the only way that you would actually, quote unquote, overeat. It's because you said you had this calorie goal that is important to you going into the meal, and then you're committed to fat loss in that moment, and then you overate. It's not that you're a bad person for overeating, right? It's just objectively, that's what happened. You had this calorie goal that put you in this calorie deficit that will allow you to lose fat and hence allow you to reach your goal. And objectively, you just ate over that goal. And that's okay. That's just what happened, black and white. There's no right or wrong attached to it, right? So that's the first way that you could look at that meal. I don't think it's overweight. I don't think it's overeating if you look at it in another way. I think the other way is that you prioritize enjoying that experience with your friends. And if you prioritize that in that moment. So you want to go out and have some drinks. You want to have that burger and fries. You want to have that dessert. You committed before the meal that that's your main goal with that meal. You want to enjoy the experience and just eat food. It's not overeating. It's not undereating. It's literally just eating, right? That's not even the point of the meal, right? The point is the experience itself with the people that you care about. So you decided that fat loss isn't as important to you for this meal, and that's completely okay as well. So you shouldn't feel guilty because you did what you thought was most important to you. So I don't see, if you look at it that way, I don't see it as overeating. And I think that what's so important is that you have to commit going into the meal out with friends. And this could be at a restaurant. This could be, a lunch. This could be, like if your boss brings in lunch, you have whatever pizza and stuff. You decide, okay, I'm going to enjoy, there's some random party, someone's leaving or whatever. It's like, if you choose in that moment that you want to enjoy that, well, that's okay. That's just being a human being. That's totally fine. But if you also choose, no, instead of that pizza, I'm going to eat the grilled chicken salad that I brought because right now fat loss is what's most important to me in this moment. Well, that's okay. What's most important is that you commit to one or the other, and then you stick with what you promised yourself to do. Right? That is the key here. That is how you start to build confidence and trust in your own abilities. So the crucial tip is whenever you go into a meal, you should look at it like, okay, what is my main priority? Is it fat loss? Is it my health? Is it to reach a certain physique goal or strength goal or whatever? Or is it to simply not focus on the food as much, enjoy the experience with friends, get something you've been craving, get something that you want to relax at the end of the week, you want to get some drinks? Neither of these answers are right or wrong. I just want to give you permission, I just want you to give yourself permission to commit to either one. Neither one is right or wrong. Neither one is good or bad. Just pick one and stick with it. I think that is something that people get stuck in the gray area of going into the meal out at a restaurant or something and saying, okay, they have this fat loss goal. They're just saying, okay, I'm going to try and do my best, to make the right decision. And what happens is they go to the dinner, they go to the restaurant, and then every single one of let's take a guy, for example, that's what I relate to the most. Every single one of your buddies ordered pizza and beer and burgers and chicken tenders, or whatever, right? They all ordered that. And then your plan was to get the grilled chicken salad. But then what happens is whenever the waiter gets to you and asks you what you want, you then cave, and then you end up getting the burger and fries, whatever. You get everything that all your friends were getting. But then the whole time while you're eating it, then you feel guilty and you feel shame and you feel disappointed in yourself because you told yourself that you were going to get the grilled chicken salad, but then you caved at the last minute. And so you don't even get to enjoy that meal entirely. The entire time you're just feeling bad about the decision you made. And then it carries over afterwards too. But if before that meal, it's like if you just chose, okay, I'm just going to get, I'm with my buddies. We don't do this often. I'm going to enjoy this meal with them. And then I'm going to get right back on track after this meal is over. I think that, or you decide to get the grilled chicken salad beforehand and you actually get the grilled chicken salad. It's like, fuck your friends. Do what's important to you. right? And that's because that is what is going to make yourself proud of yourself. You're going to keep those promises to yourself, and I think that is the crucial tip that I'm trying to get across here. You have to pick one, commit to it, and then move on. Like that's basically the whole point here. So yeah, I think that she told me that tip was helpful, and I thought it was an interesting concept that I know I do for myself subconsciously. And I was like, oh, I could actually share this with people, and I think a lot of you could relate. So I hope that was helpful. And that is it for Minisode number 82 on the More Than Fitness podcast. As always, thank you so much for listening and for watching. See ya.